topics and opinions expressed in the following show are solely those of the hosts and their guests and not those of W4CY Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4CY Radio or its employees or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4CY Radio.
Welcome to the Ask the Expert show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV, where we bring you educational information from top local experts in the fields of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. Now sit back and listen to experts in family law, association law, hearing loss, business brokers, home care, along with many other topics. Now here are your hosts, Steve-O and Sophia.
Hey, good morning. Welcome to another Ask the Expert show where we bring you the top experts in the field of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. This is the first Wednesday of the month. We always start off with this. I think it's probably one of our greatest experts. When you get my age, you've got a lot of different specialists that you see. And plus, we've got so many fine doctors around the country who do shows with us. But I got to tell you, this doctor who's on with us this morning, I have never had so much respect for a doctor, his knowledge, the way he communicates. I'm not sucking up, I promise you. He's been with us for about 3 or 4 years. We just signed a new deal for the next 2 years. Let me welcome to our show. It's a great honor to have Dr. Eldred Taylor of the Taylor Medical Group.
Oh, man. Hey, how you doing?
Dr. Taylor.
Hey, how you doing? All right, good. I'm doing fine. And thanks for the introduction. And hey, thank you. I hope I can live up to your expectations.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, Dr. Taylor, we're always getting new listeners and viewers. Tell people about Taylor Medical Group.
Okay, well, Taylor Medical Group is me and my wife. My wife's a physician. We've been married for 40 years. We've been working together for about 20. And I'm originally an OBGYN, trained at Emory. My wife is a psychiatrist and family practice doc. We met in medical school and our residency. So we've been married for 40 years. It tells you how long I've been a doc. And so I started out doing OBGYN. My wife had her own practice. We had some children. Stress kind of hit us. We said, we can't keep doing this. So we started doing functional medicine. And that's what we do now. And I primarily focus on, we wrote 2 books. Are Your Hormones Making You Sick? That's kind of my thing. I was an OBGYN. I started being interested in bioidentical hormones, a different way to look at hormones. And then we wrote another book called The Stress Connection, because we found out that, hey, look, 75 to 90% of all visits to primary care physicians are for stress-related complaints or disorders. So with my wife being a psychiatrist, we got together and we wrote a book called The Stress Connection, and talking about how most conditions are really connected to stress. And I just did a podcast on it right before we came on here. And I'm really starting to focus on helping people identify stress and help their body to adapt to it so that they can live a life in control. You were telling me that people think that I have control of my life and they want to know what I do during the day. So we could talk about that. But really, I got control of my stress, and I got control of being able to control myself, even though stress is all around me. Because see, now you got stress coming at you at all angles, because your body doesn't know the difference between a physical stress and a mental stress. And with all the things going on in this nation and all of the stuff that's trying to make you stressed, you have to learn how to keep your inside unstressed. Okay. And that's it, because it's all how you perceive things. One person can see something as a stress and the other person can see something as it's exciting. We talk about adrenaline junkies, bungee jumping. I see it as a stress, but somebody who bungee jumps, they're like, oh, this is great. So anyway, so that's the Taylor Medical Group. That's what we do. and that's what I primarily talk about. So anyway, you can go ahead.
Well, it seems like many of the letters we get, people want to know about your secret sauce. And a lot of it is about stress.
Yeah,
So they want to
yeah,
know, how do you cope with stress?
yeah. All right. You know what? I always say you cannot manage what you cannot measure. See, that's the problem, is that most people don't know how to measure their stress. But that's what I talk about in my program. You can measure stress through saliva and cortisol. So anyway, it'd be great if you could measure your stress. There's all kinds of ways to do it. It's through something called heart rate variability. You can measure stress with a Muse headband to see if your brain is interpreting things as stress or not. So you want to be able to measure it. All right. Then you'll be able to manage it a lot better. But so here's what I get up and do. The first 30 minutes of your day will either make your day peaceful or make it chaotic. Okay. The first 30 minutes of your day, your subconscious mind is still open. Okay. And so your subconscious mind controls like 90%, 95% of what you do every day. It's subconscious. Just like you can drive to work and you get there and you don't know how you got there. You just like, what was I thinking about? Your subconscious was doing it automatically. So there's a lot of automatic things that you do first thing in the morning. You get up and you go to your phone and you're doing it all subconsciously, and it's adding to your stress. So the first thing you're supposed to do is to be aware of what subconscious things are causing you to be stressed. So in the morning, I try to clear my mind of everything. I do two things. I listen to a song called Lovely Day by Bill Withers. Okay. I listen to it. And when you listen to that, here's the other thing I do. They say you're supposed to, you listen to the music to set the tone, and then you do some type of movement. So in the morning, I listen. So you asked my day, so I'm gonna tell you. Okay. So in the morning, I listen to that, and I do these exercises where I move every joint. And I do it. I learned it from on YouTube from this Asian guy who was doing it. So that's what I do. And I listen to Mr. Magic by Grover Washington. So I listen to those two songs every morning. And then I go to my computer and I actually use ChatGPT, and I ask it to give me something to meditate on. Okay. So at meditation, you quiet your brain down. Okay. It turns off that stress signal, and just having 15 to 20 minutes of quiet and letting your parasympathetic nervous system, which is rest and digest, you can actually stimulate healing even for that little 15 minutes to let your body stop being in the fight or flight and being in the rest and digest. And it can do wonders for you, and it sets your day off where you are more calm and you can reason and not react. And that's the real problem with stress. And that's why stress gets you in bad situations, because you react to stuff instead of responding. You have to slow yourself down so you can respond appropriately, so you don't say anything like to your spouse or whatever that's going to cause an argument because you reacted to what she said and you just didn't calmly respond. And so that's the real way to calm yourself down, is to always give yourself a minute before you say something. They say that that's silence between what you want to say and what you should say. That's the key, is you got to give yourself enough time to don't say what you just and give yourself, wait a minute. Okay, how can I respond to this where I can get my point across, but it doesn't start me on this stress spiral where we're going back and forth reacting. And another thing I want to show you is that probably a year and a half ago when I first started this, I said the one thing that I can change and I can make myself get disciplined in is exercise. All right. So I want to show the show. Can you show the movie? This is what we got to do. I go there Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. I've been doing that for I go there Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays for about a year and a half. And I've made some incredible changes to my body. And when you get disciplined in one thing, you get more disciplined in something else. So I'm very disciplined about, it's almost subconsciously. I don't even think about it. 4 o'clock on Tuesdays, 4 o'clock on Wednesdays, and 10 o'clock on Saturdays. My subconscious takes me there whether I want to or not. Okay. And that's kind of where you have to get. And so anyway, so I do that. The gym, I go at 4 o'clock. And then right after meditation, you know what meditation does? It allows your creative mind to open up. So that's when I start working on Ageless Blueprint. You say you like all the stuff that I put up there. That's after I meditate. I get all of these ideas about what I can do about a podcast, and all of that comes after the meditation because it opens up your creative mind. Because when you're thinking about survival, you can't think about creating something that
Right.
could be good 6 months from now. Okay, you don't have time for that. So when you're calm, you can orchestrate your future, and that's why I took that course, Reality Creator, and it allowed me to create what I wanted instead of just reacting to what was coming at me. That's the secret sauce, is can you stay focused on what you want even though all of these other things are coming at you. I always have to hide away when I want to work so that my wife doesn't give me all these to-do lists. Now I've kind of trained my wife now. It's like, okay, tell me what you want me to do. I'll fit it in my schedule, but I may not be able to do it right this moment because I'm working on something. So that's, so when you talk about that secret sauce, can you eliminate distractions so that your mind is not taken in 15 different directions, because that causes stress. All right. So then after I get done with that, usually I have to go, if I don't have to go to the office, then I'm trying to take care of errands and things. And then in the evening, I try to wind down and I eat with my wife, or talk with my kids, or whatever I call them. And then in the evening, I try to review everything that I've done that day. Okay, I actually get ChatGPT. I say, tell me what we did today, and tell me what I need to do tomorrow to keep me moving forward. And that's what I do. And so that's my day. If I don't have to go to the office, if I have to go to the office at 9 to 5, I'm at the office. But in the meantime, I'm always working on Ageless Blueprint and trying to make it better. And so how much time? So Steve, this is what, I've been doing this for 20 years, and I've been trying to figure out how can I offer this to more people, and they don't have to come to Atlanta or whatever. So I'm building this program, and what it is, it's my 4-step stress reset. All right. It's 1, if at all possible, get rid of the stress. If it's a bad job, if it's a bad relationship, whatever, try to get rid of it. Okay. So, and some of the stresses you don't know. So we will try and figure out, we'll do the cortisol test, see how bad it is, try and identify the stresses. What can you get rid of? And if you can't get rid of them, we want to change how you respond to the stress. Well, how do you do that? You can do it with meditation. You can do it with these things called heart rate variability. We can measure it, and we can help you to change how you respond to stress. And it's primarily meditation, keeping that inside calm. And there's gadgets, the music. I'll teach. You really can't teach somebody how to meditate. You have to have them practice meditation. Okay. And you get better and better. I'm much better at meditation now than I was a year and a half ago. So you try to change how you respond to the stress. The third part of the program is try to repair the damage caused by the stress. So sometimes there's a gut problem. We'll do gut testing and we'll try and fix that. Then sometimes it's food sensitivities. We do food sensitivity testing. We think that's one of the stressors. So we got to repair the damage caused by the stress. And the key is we want to prepare you for future stress. We don't want you to get back into the hole that you were in when you came to me. So we're going to talk about how can you continue to do lifestyle changes so you can stay at this state. All right. And so we want to make sure you don't get back into that hole, and that you can continue to perform at your highest level for as long as possible. And also, we want to be able to show you different monitoring things. So I have Apple Watches, I have all kinds of things. And so that you can monitor when you get out of that homeostasis, or when you get out of that calm state, where you can recognize it really early, where you can make some little minor changes and get right back on track, and don't get to the point where the cortisol curve is all is all screwed up. So that's a program. I'm getting it all organized. We're going to price it and we're going to offer it. And I'll tell you, it's a 90-day program, because that's what I do in my office. I see a person, we test them, we make the changes, and then 90 days later, we come back, we do a follow-up, and if we need to do it. So I'm offering that, and again, I'm excited about it because I finally have figured out how I can do it. And because that was my whole goal when I started with you. How can I offer this to more people, and they don't just have to come to Atlanta, and it overwhelms my office. But these are things you can do, and I don't have to see you in person.
So, Dr. Terry, I'm going to throw something on you that happened, and I thought about you. So I think it was probably last Sunday. We've shared that, God's most important thing in my life. When I go to church, it is a calming, stress-free, I give it all to the Lord. But you see things that happened in Minnesota last week at the church. I mean, that's my haven. That's where I get rid of all the stress. So I thought about you, because there's always things that pop up that you weren't counting on.
Yeah,
and
I know.
How do you cope with that?
That's what I'm telling you, man. When you say go to church and you leave your, that's this modern thing about you have to let things go, and and you really do. And that's whether it's religious or non-religious. That Mel Robbins, she's have a bestseller about letting go. And we used to sing the song, "Take your burdens to the Lord and leave them there." You're right. You have to disassociate yourself with all of these burdens that you are carrying, and you really have no control. You think you have control, okay? But you do not have control. And as soon as you realize you don't have control, and you're trying to force things to happen, that's the stress. That's the stress. They're like, life always follows the path of least resistance. Is that, think of me with nature. Just think a river. A river goes where it's the easiest to go. It doesn't flow uphill. When you try to make water flow uphill, it's stressful. So the idea is you need to go with the flow of life. You have to adapt to what life brings you, because life is not going to adapt to you. You have to adapt to life. Okay. And so you have to adapt to whatever is coming towards you. All right. This is what I'll tell you how I adapted in my relationship. Okay. My wife used to ask me things to do, ask me to do something. And it would really be simple, but I would make it be hard. I gotta do.
Yes.
So I said, okay, I'm going to change how I respond to that stressor. When she asked me to do something, if it's at all possible, I'm going to do it right then. Get it out the way. It's like, so yesterday we had, because of the ice storm, we had some limbs that had come down off the tree. And she had been asking me to do it, but it had been so cold. She was like, okay, whenever the weather warms up. So yesterday I was really in the middle of doing something, and she asked me to do it. And you know what? This is how I perceive things now. I'm going to do it right now, and it's going to be a lot easier than I think it is. So it's just the perception that I'm going to do it, and it's going to be easier than I think it is. So I went out there. It was 60 degrees. It was nice out there. I got the limbs. It took me all of 10 minutes. I did it. I came back, did the work. She's happy. I'm happy. Day's good. Okay. In the past, I would have said I was going to do it, said to myself, oh, it's too hard. I'm too busy. She's always asking me to do something. She's nagging me. So and I would just create a problem. And then 2 days later, when I didn't do it, she'd be mad at me, and I'd say, I forgot. Ever since I've done that, I've adapted to the situation. Life is good. Okay, so and I hate I had to wait like 38 years to learn that, because it's only been the last 2 years that I've been. I wish I'd have learned that 30 something years ago. But that's my new attitude since I've done this reality creator, the guy who runs that program, we have really become friends now, and I'm going to have him on my regular podcast. So I can't wait, because he's the one, and this guy's only 28, 29 years old. And that's why I say, God said out of the mouths of babes, so he's a babe, but he's the one that got me really started on this journey. I'll tell you, you got me back to where I'm communicating again. Okay. So that was 3-4 years ago. And then this guy really got me on the path of, hey, look, you can do whatever you want to do. And he really was like, look, your 30 years of experience, you've got to let people know about that. And so he's really pushed me to like, here's how you do it on YouTube and podcasts and all this. And then I've been in turn been able to help him with some issues that with some friends of his. So that's how life rolls. I have learned to go with the flow. That's how you keep stress out of your life. Go with the flow. Whatever life brings you, you have to be. I talk in my podcast. Hey, longevity and adaptation. Why did the dinosaurs become extinct? Because they couldn't adapt to a new environment. Right.
That makes sense.
So if you want to have longevity, and that you have to be able to adapt to your environment. Either you have to adapt to your environment, or you have to go to a different environment. Okay. So hey, with all the climate change and all this, what happens is some of these animals, they've had to go to a different environment because they couldn't adapt. Either they're going to go extinct, or they're going to have to go to a different environment. It's the same way with us. If we don't adapt.
Tell people we have a minute left. Tell people
I'm sorry.
When your show is.
Tell
people when your show is.
Yeah, it's 9:00. It's right before yours. It's from 9 to 10 every Wednesday. I'm on every Wednesday from 9 to 10. It's the Ageless Blueprint. You can go to agelessblueprintpodcast.com. Also, my YouTube channel, Ageless Blueprint 1 is my YouTube channel. It's live 9:00, and it's stored there, where you can see it whenever. And I'm going to start pushing those out. I have an email list. I really want to get this information out to people, and I'll do it any way I need to. All right. Okay. So I didn't know time passed by fast.
This show will be rerun every week. And we do a live show the first Wednesday of the month, 10:00 Eastern. Dr. Taylor, God bless you.
All right. Thank you, man. Thank you for the opportunity. We'll see you in a month.
Love you, bro.
All right. Thank you. Love you too. Thank you.
Dr. Eldred Taylor of the Taylor Medical Group. We're going to go to break. We come back. We have more Ask the Experts.
Thanks for tuning in today to the Ask the Expert show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV. Tune in next week and every week to hear more from our experts on personal injury, insurance, air condition repairs, estate planning, Medicare, and many other topics in the areas of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. See you next week.